All right, y'all, for today's episode of the Down to Business podcast, I was able to sit down with my dog, Ello of NR2R Clothing. And so really was able to talk about some of the early successes that they've had as a business, as a clothing brand. But, despite that, still some things that they want to work on, they want to improve on, especially with the new year just beginning. And when I say they, I mean, he talked about him and his fellow counterpart, how he actually runs the brand with somebody else, but they're in two different locations in North Carolina and Atlanta. So talked about, rules, responsibilities, and how they get all that up and running and going. So without further ado, enjoy episode 83, The Road to Exclusivity. What's going on, everybody? Just like to welcome you back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. And sitting down with my dog today, man. I love when I get to bring the bros on. I love when the bros are just moving in the right direction, man. Definitely, Cole just got near and dear to my heart. Somebody who I met back in my time at ECU, when I was on my journey to becoming a member of Omega Psi Phi. Definitely just been a genuine dude, even through my journey to making it happen, even afterwards and even to this day. So very excited, to be sitting down with my dog, man, my man Ello, and get into everything, that he has going with his brand and just the success that he's had. And just, I've been following him from afar, but I definitely love everything that's going on. So how you doing today, bro?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here, dog. I know this joint been a long time coming, trying to get this scheduled and right, man. Get both of us on one accord, but we here, man. So glad to be here.
That's all, man. That's all. It take a little bit. The time it's on God's time. So yeah. So for the people out there who's gonna be tapping in, for the people who come from my side, for the people who may be coming from your side, and then we're gonna have some newcomers along the way. Can you, one, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then two, just tell us what brings you on the Down to Business podcast today?
Yeah, man. So my name is Ello. I go by Ello. And I represent NR2R Clothing. I'm actually one of two owners. I got a partner that's actually in Atlanta, and I'm in North Carolina. And clothing brand, man, got the tracksuits, the joggers. You can catch us on Instagram, NR2R Clothing. Mine is NR2R_Ello. It pretty much brings me on the podcast, man, just trying to expand the brand, tapping in with my people, man. Been a minute, bros, root, so just here to talk about the business, and anything that I can do, to possibly help anybody else, man. Just looking to kind of get in this lane,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I would say that you're not even looking to get into it. You here at this point. So one of the first things that I hear, though, that's very interesting to me, you said, so you 1 and 2. So you in NC, he's in ATL. So how does that work as far as like business operations? Like who's really in charge of what? How do y'all divvy up a lot of that responsibility when it comes to the brand? So,
man, it's really kind of good to know, especially when you're in a partnership with consists of 2 or more people. It's good to know each other's strengths. So I really pretty much handle anything like on the business side. So like taxes or like setting up the website, inventory. So I do all of that. We actually have it set up to where we got separate sales. Like I got sales from North Carolina, and then when he sells out of Atlanta, it splits everything. So it's kind of like 2 stores on running off one website. So that's kind of how we do that. And we really a lot of our attraction actually started in Atlanta. So it's kind of good to have 2 different people in different areas because you're kind of tackling 2 different territories at the same time. So in the beginning, so that was kind of good for us.
That's what's up, man. I think a big thing with business, especially with going into it with more than one person, is being able to define those strengths and weaknesses. You would hate to, get into a partnership, especially something where money is involved, time is involved, you're getting other people involved and things like that. And, y'all kind of bumping heads or y'all can't really find that connect. So the fact that, y'all got that out from the rip, that's important. And that's only going to, continue to propel and to excel the business. I love that. So just a little bit of background about NR2R. So one, can you tell us just what is the history behind, you and your other owner? Like, how did y'all kind of just meet? How did y'all figure out that this is what y'all wanted to start? And how did y'all kind of get that traction in Atlanta? And then, where'd the name come from? Because I rock with it a lot.
Yeah. So, man, actually, as far as my partner, it's actually, he's a bro, it's my LB, and we actually met playing football together at Elizabeth City State. So that's how we met. And, as far as getting into the clothes, it's honestly, it's something that I've kind of always been into, but really didn't know it and really didn't know this was kind of going to be my purpose. So like back in the day growing up, I was always kind of a little bit ahead, I would say, on the fashion. And that just come from like my uncle. Like I always go back to Pink Dolphin clothing. So I don't know if you know about Pink Dolphin, but when Pink Dolphin first came out, it was only online. you only could get it online, and I jumped on it before it got into stores, and then once it kind of got into stores and everybody kind of got on it, they kind of took like a little bit of a drop where it wasn't exclusive as it was, because it was now like it was available to everybody. It was different, when people love stuff when it's not exclusive, and it's not available to everyone. Like you got to really jump on it where you can get it. If you out, people like, yo, what's that? You know what I mean? This is Pink Dolphin. Where can I get that? Online only. It's exclusive. So that's really kind of how it started when I was young, man. And as I got to school, I always like dressing, man, and it was into fashion. And when I met my partner, which is Jay, he was into it too, and we kind of had talks about it in school, but never really put any motion or any money behind it. And man, it just happened to be in the pandemic earlier that year, before the pandemic hit. We was like, yo, you know what? Let's put some money behind this and actually get into it and do it. And the pandemic ended up hitting around, I want to say, February or March 2020, and we like, shoot, should we still do it? Should we put it on the back burner? They're like, man, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's put it out there. So we end up launching it and debuting around June. I want to say June, or it might have been August of 2020. Not really knowing where it was going to go, because it was a pandemic. People was out of work, out of jobs, but at the same time, people were still finding a way to buy the things and do the things they wanted to do. So I'm like, man, you know what? Hey, if they want it and they like it, people will find a way to support and buy it, man. So that's kind of how I started in like a nutshell, quick summary on that.
For real, I like that, and I'm always interested to hear people within the clothing brand space, just what their inspiration was. But it always somehow ties back to growing up, or maybe even a relative, or maybe even somebody who they looked up to that inspired that, and then really got them into, okay, I like looking good, I like just dressing, throwing that stuff on sometimes, and really making it happen. So that's interesting. Now, something that I do kind of want to explore a little bit more too is the fact that you came into business during the pandemic. That's always an interesting concept to me, just because like it can really make or break. It could go really well, you could be doing really good, you can eat up, or on the other side you can kind of be struggling, like you said, people out of jobs, people not really spending that much money on wants. They more so focusing on the essentials and making it happen. So with this in mind, you and your partner, was there anything that y'all did differently, or did y'all take a different approach when it came to really launching y'all business, and were y'all kind of cognizant of different things, just because you had to appeal to people who may not necessarily be wanting to spend all the money? You had to appeal to people who are out of jobs and not really worried about social media and different things like that now, or did y'all really just drop this and kind of hope for the best type thing?
So and that actually, because I forgot to answer what NR2R stands for, but this kind of goes and tells with that too, man. So it all correlates. So when we thought of the name, and I came up with the name, man. We were thinking, we actually about 6 months to a year just thinking on the name, man. We throwing in notes. We both attached to the notes on the iPhone, and we add stuff every day, and we're going there like I can see he edited in the notes like, hey, drop this name. So NR2R, man, no road to riches. So how when someone is on that glory road where you just got signed to the NBA or the league, or just got $1 million contract for rapping to a label or anything, they say you on that road to riches, and everyone is trying to get to that road to riches. Everyone is trying to get to success, or whatever success is for you, but there's really no blueprint to the game. There's no map, there's no directions. You kind of got to find your lane, man, or find your own way of how you're going to get there, because what works for this person may not work for you. So you really got to find your own recipe and your own blueprint of how you're going to get to your success, So that's how we came up with no road to riches, because you really got to find your lane to make one. You got to find your way out here, man. And if there is no lane for you to get in, make your own, because we're really in the age of, especially the social media age, there's really content out there for everybody. There's a lane for everyone. If these people not rocking with it, these people over here are rocking with it. So that's kind of how we came up with that. We wanted something with some substance, and with the pandemic, we were like, hey, it's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, people like what they like. The main thing we was running into when I was, you talking to family members and friends, like, yo, I'm about to drop this brand, this clothing line. The main thing everyone always says is, what's going to make you different from everybody else? What's going to single you out? How are you going to distinguish yourself from the rest of the brands out there? And that's something we always heard a lot. I think everyone growing up in school, just growing up, that's the main thing when someone's starting a business. That's like what everybody asks you, how you gonna be different? And I think, man, that's really a term or a statement, man. That's to me, it's irrelevant because I say, if you go to someone's closet, everyone has more than one brand in their closet. Like if I go to your closet right now, man, I'm sure you probably got Polo, whether you got Gucci, Hanes, whatever. You got more than one brand. You know what I'm saying? You like different stuff. So I say, hey, man, if the brand is hard, we coming with the premium quality, the good quality, because we standing on high end clothing, on high end streetwear. So we wanted to make sure all of our clothing was top tier, especially if we're gonna charge a certain price. We want our prices to reflect our product, and we want our product to reflect our prices. So I said, if the people like it, man, it's hard, man. People will find a way to get it. It's like people were still buying J's and whatever else during the pandemic. They'll find a way to make it happen. So we really didn't let the pandemic detour us or diminish any of our goals or what we were trying to do.
A good mindset to have too, with thinking about, it's irrelevant, just because the biggest difference honestly should be that it's me, that I'm not the same as this other person who has this clothing brand, that we're two different individuals. We think differently. We're not even selling the same thing. So the fact that we're just into clothing and apparel, well, we're going to naturally differentiate ourselves. But at the end of the day, like you said, two things could be completely the same almost, or really not have much of a difference. If the people rock with it, they're going to grab it either way. So people have multiple brands of the same thing, or just so how that goes. So at the end of the day, like you said, I think that's a good way to look at it. That's irrelevant. I'm gonna put my own spin, and I'm gonna bring my own flavor to it. I'm gonna have my own swag with it. And like you said, as long as I'm making, I think that was a cool kind of correlation that you made. The products reflect the price, and the price reflects the product, because oftentimes we get into these luxury or get into the high end and different things like that, and you start to shop with these people, the customer service is not the best. Then you get the products are not the best. Then you run into issues with shipping and handling. So I think that one of the biggest things, especially with clothing, is making sure that you have that correlation through and through, so that people not only trust you, but especially if you want to do the Pink Dolphin route, do it on all online or be exclusive. Well, you can't have a bad e-commerce business that way, because you'll never, and especially even if I'm thinking it now, if you do it even word of mouth or just physically with a store location, that could be bad business for folks too. So thinking about now that y'all are in different locations, so you got the North Carolina crowd, you got the Atlanta crowd, you got people that's kind of far in between. What does NR2R really look like as far as growth and expansion? Are y'all looking? Obviously, y'all appeal to different places, different crowds, and everything like that. But what does that look like as far as partnerships, maybe in other cities or other states or other parts, within North Carolina?
Man, so one of our goals is, man, we really want to stay exclusive. We want to keep that effect out there where every time somebody sees it, or when you out in public, you see somebody in it, we want to keep that like, yo, that's nice. Where can I get that? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't really just walk up anywhere and grab it. I see the brand in 5 to 10 years. If we're actually in a store, if you actually see us in a store, it's gonna be because we've knocked off everything on the bucket list. We're there. We're not really hands on with it anymore. Like it's more of like, it's where it needs to be now. That's why you can go. You got more access to it. But until we kind of like get to that point, because our goal is really, man, we're looking. I want a big collab with someone, a partnership with like a big brand, and that's why we're real big on our influencers, man, and having that set up in Atlanta has really been great for us, because Atlanta, a lot of people say, man, you can go to Atlanta and, man, whatever you got going on, you can really get it off the ground and running in Atlanta, because the support there, it's just different. Like, people get behind what you got going on in Atlanta if you got something good going on, man. And that's how we ran into a whole lot of the celebrities, and it's been real genuine. None of the celebrities we've had in the brand, man, we haven't had any like paid promo. Everything has really been like genuine love, like off the strength. They like what we're doing. They're putting on the clothes, they rocking it. And I tell people a lot, when you don't gotta pay for any promo or advertising, it's more authentic when they post it, because you can see through a pay for post and a real authentic post where someone just put this song out of their closet. And it still amazes me today, man, when a celeb or put our stuff on. I'm like, yo, he really woke up this. He got millions of dollars, and he really woke up this morning and looked past the Louis, the Gucci, all this. He said, yo, I'm gonna wear this today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put this on today. So that's it's very humbling, man, and it just be great to see because I know they could have put on anything they wanted to that day, and they decided to rock NR2R, man. So it's all love, man. I'm loving it, and in the years to come, man, I really see us being pretty big because we've had a lot of big moments early on because we only been out a year and a half now, maybe, man. It seems like we've been out 5 years, but because the early success we've had, man, and I see us later on, man, being pretty big, man, and I do see us having a partnership with somebody coming in trying to either buy us out or partner with us and pretty much take a lot of the overhead that we doing ourselves from us, and like, look, y'all just design the clothes. We gonna handle this, that, and because we see where this gonna go, and we see how much money this can make. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I see us in the future, man.
Come on now, that's some manifestation right there. I love that, and I'm actually glad that you touched on the celebrity aspect because that was something I was wondering. That was something I saw that it was love for me. I was like, damn, that's what's up. Like, they got the right people tapped in at the right times and inspired too. And that even kind of made me think about what you said also, how sometimes like these folks wake up every day. Sometimes you hear about them not even wearing the same outfit twice. Like, and it couldn't be me. I'm a recycle that thing every time. But it's just like these folks, they pick that, they rock with that. That's really what it was. But at the same time, too, the fact that it keeps you humble. It keeps you still wanting to work hard. It keeps you still wanting to elevate because that can give people a big head. And I'm sure, like behind closed doors or whatever, like you get hyped behind that. I'm hyped behind. I was hyped for y'all. That's like, but it makes you like, yo, you like, yeah, like all right, like that's what's up. Like he really rocking. And everything, but then you just like, all right, but we can't be no one hit wonders. We gotta keep, you gotta keep elevating, keep getting better. So how do y'all do that? How do y'all consistently stay motivated? How do y'all consistently stay creating and trying to perfect the craft, even when, like you said, y'all have had such big success? It feels like I ain't gonna lie, bro. It definitely don't feel like just a year and a half. It definitely feel like I've been seeing you following it for a little minute, just in me changing directions and stuff. So yeah, how do you, with all this big success, especially early on, how do you continue to get better? How do you continue to still create?
So man, and it's I'm glad you said that too, the one hit wonder. So with the clothing lane, man, clothes and fashion is so broad. Like everybody has like their own style. You got multiple styles out here. You got multiple online brands out here. So the main thing is, man, you really gotta experiment, man. So when we did the hoodie and shorts, that was a hit for us. That was our first product. We had 3 different colors. We did pink, gray, and tan. We tried to keep it neutral with one that was kind of like out there, and that one's gonna be kind of for who was for like the pink one. So we had 2 neutral colors that we like, what, everybody rock with tan and gray, and then we throw a little sprinkle out there something different, something bright, extravagant, throw the pink, So with that, it was a hit. And then right after that, we came with the tracksuits and the hoodie and pants, and that was a hit. So boom. Then we went to the nightlines. We tried something different with the nightlines, the waterproof material. And the nightlines, they kind of was, it was eye traffic, decent traffic, but it really didn't get the feedback and the traction that we really wanted. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, you know what? That was cool, but that really ain't do like we wanted to do. So you really got to stick to your guns, find out what works for you and what the people like, what's getting the most attention, and then kind of go back to that and stick to that until it no longer has any traction, So there's nothing wrong with experimenting, trying different things. We did some t-shirts too, trying different things, and seeing what the people like and what works, Another brand, they may sell out on t-shirts, they may sell out in this product, and you may do it, and you may not get the same traction that company had, So you really got to find out what works for you and really what kind of stamps your brand and what your brand gonna be known for. And I feel like what really stamped us was like the tracksuits and the joggers. We still going expand and do other products here and there, but I think our bread and butter is gonna be tracksuits and joggers, man. That's kind of what we're gonna stand on. And we really we go to the drawing board and we do everything from scratch to the material, the measurements. We come up with all of that, and brands that I like, I check and see what stuff is made. Like if I go in the store and it's a nice shirt or a nice tracksuit, I'm looking in at them and tell you what's this? This 50% polyester, 40% spandex or whatever. Like I'm looking at all that, and and when we go and make our clothes, we we add all that in, man. We put everything together. I'm like, yo, that shirt was nice. It felt good. It was soft. It was like 30% this and 40% that. Let's do that and put our own little spin on it. So that's kind of how we do it, man. And as far as what we put out, we really just go off of what's working for us, what had good traction, what didn't. And, once you do that, you find out what works for your brand and what the people like. You just kind of got to take advantage and move on that until it no longer is it's no longer hot or it's dying down. Stay on it until it's not, So that's kind of how we do.
It goes back to that question about, what differentiates you from other brands. You said it perfectly there that one brand could be good at T-shirts specifically, sell out, just be doing what they're doing. Another brand see that and say, oh, but they got the T-shirts on, like, okay, well, we could do T-shirts. You throw your thing or you put your spin on the T-shirts, people don't like it or it's not getting that traction as much. So now you see, okay, well, maybe we can't do the T-shirts. Maybe we thought we had something here. You have to also recognize as a business owner, as a creative, when something is just not working, when you're just pushing something. Sometimes we can push our own agenda a little bit too much and not really get the feedback from other people. Because I tell people all the time, like, I can hear, it's funny when I used to kind of just listen to my episodes back and I could just hear certain things. And then what I went to school for, I'm a perfectionist. So I can just hear things and listen to things and watch things differently. Whereas I put it in front of somebody else who that may not be their industry. And they're like, look good to me, sounded good to me. Like, what's going on? I'm like, bro, you ain't like you ain't grab none of that. I'm like, oh, maybe I am. Maybe I'm just pushing the wrong agenda. So sometimes you got to recognize, when we're being a little too steadfast on something or too not willing to expand. Because at the end of the day, it's about the people. We're doing this for the people, not for, what we like and what we want to put out. Obviously, my own spin is going to be what I like. I'm not just going to throw something out there that I don't agree with. But at the same time, I also got to get the feedback. I got to see if people really rocking with this. And that might have not have been something where I put my head to, well, maybe I need to look into it now. Like you said, stick to the guns and really figure out what's going on. But at the same time, figure out when something is not working for you. Figure out when you might just have your lane. Like you said, y'all saw how much traction, how everything was going with the sweatsuits. Well, why would we abandon the sweatsuits? Why would we leave just because they're not? Somebody gonna need a sweatsuit somewhere. They might not be in season down here, but they over there. It's cold over there. It's cold over. So you gotta stick to what you know. Because I know plenty of people, and even myself, I've had bad experiences getting sweatsuits. Like it not be the quality. It look totally different on the website. It take too long. So sweatsuits is something that's not easy to do. Especially a good quality sweatsuit. Everybody knows about the Nikes, but nobody wants to spend the Nike money, But at the same time, if I could get something, like you said, 60% this, 40% that, figure out what's going on. I think that that's important too. Whereas people, they want to just come up with everything on their own, just do everything, just figure it out. No, sometimes it's a matter of opening a little tag. All right, that's that. Wouldn't never known that. Just learned something. Now I can add that, but it's a little bit different too. When you throw your own spin on it, when you throw the NR2R swag or the sauce with it. So I think that that's cool. I think that's important. So with all the feedback, with all the traction, with everything that kind of goes into what y'all got as far as analytics, as far as y'all figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what y'all kind of want to do moving forward. What would you say is really something that has opened your guys' eyes to being business owners, to, being brand, being in the high end industry, I would say, wanting to put out, the best of the best, but whether it comes with vendors, what is something that I would say that before y'all really started this business a year and a half ago that y'all didn't know, that kind of coming into business, accepting the roles and responsibilities, it really opened y'all up to and taught you?
So with me, like, I love to research and read. So before I get into anything, I'm gonna learn all the benchmarks, just like a test. I'm gonna get all the benchmarks for it, all the knowledge I could get on it before I actually do it. So even though you still gonna be learning as you go, a lot of stuff gonna be trial and error. But I came in here with enough tools and information to get this started to where I know what I'm doing. Certain stuff I still got to learn. Where you got on the job training. Some stuff you got to learn on the job. You can only get that experience while you're doing it. So as far as how to do the website, inventory, because one of my main things was I didn't. A lot of people think you got to start off like the mom and pop way. You got to get you a sewing machine, do the stuff out the house, And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to start that way. I know there's a way where I can outsource that and not have to put all the man hours in on doing stuff out the house. Having people just DM me, like all that stuff can be. It can get frustrating. It can be confusing. It be just a lot going on. So I said, you know what? There's got to be a way where we can do this smarter, where some of this stuff we can outsource. So on YouTube, man, I tell people all the time, YouTube, Google, like you can find everything, learn everything up there. Put them hours in on YouTube and Google. So that's how I found out about Shopify, creating my website. I had to find out about manufacturers, suppliers. Where can I get my clothes and stuff from? So I had to find a way to do that, and a lot of people too, like man, where I don't got a lot of money. I'm trying to start a lot of money. Like doing it yourself, creating clothes at home, the same amount of money you pay $200, $100, whatever for a sewing machine, for the shirts you try to go out and buy like in the street, you're gonna spend $20 or whatever. All that money you spending, you really can take that same amount that you spending, you can take that actually if you just buying 10 shirts, 20 shirts, whatever, however you start, that just depends on you. You can take that money and buy it, and it could be all this stuff can be outsourced, man, as long as you put the research in and figure out how you got to do it. So our main thing was kind of moving correctly, and something that I learned getting into business on the job training was social media. The social media presence, man. That's one thing. We got a lot of traction on the ground, like in the streets, in the communities, our friends, family, everywhere. Everybody we know are in the clothes, in the brand. But that social media marketing, man, that's something that we kind of lacking, and that's our biggest thing where I feel like we need improvement on, because you got to look at your business and reflect, what, where can we improve? Where can we be better at? And it's really the social media, man, because when Lil Durk had got into one of our outfits, he put it on and we knew he had got something. We just didn't know when he was going to wear it or rock it, you know what I mean? And him and Drake dropped that, I think it was what's the Laugh Now, probably the song. Yeah. So it was that song. They dropped that, and he in the whip, he in the car, and he got the fit on, and he listening to the song on the video on his live, and everybody Instagram going crazy. Everybody DM, yo, this your fit. And I go up there and I'm like, yeah, that's us. You know what I mean? That's us. So that moment right there, that viral moment, if we had it really should have been bigger than it was if we had the right tools behind us as far as the social media marketing, man. And that social media marketing is very broad. Like I'm researching right now, trying to make sure we just get in tune with the right people to handle our stuff. And also I'm looking up myself to see if it's something that I actually can do. Because, if I can do it myself and save some money, I'd rather do that, So we're kind of researching that. But that's kind of like our last ingredient, our last piece that we need to really go over to that next phase, man, that next level. So that's something that I learned once we got into the game, is that social media marketing, man, because with all the people we've had in the brand and our clothes, you would think we got like 10K, 20K followers, you know what I mean, on Instagram, and we don't, because we just really ain't hopped on that train yet and kind of learned that tool, man, that trade as far as getting that social media marketing on lock. And once we get that, I think that's really going to take us to the next level.
Talk about that viral moment, bro, and it really doesn't take much in this day and age to sometimes say something or retweet something or share something or wake up and next day or a couple hours later you're like, that's viral or that's crazy or this and that. Like you said, had y'all really been able to capitalize on that, it would have been okay. But that also just goes to show how, even though y'all didn't capitalize on that moment per se or capitalize the way you wanted to, y'all still have had so much success. Just because why? Because you hit the ground running in different areas. You attack the street. Word of mouth is powerful. People don't realize that, and I think that just goes to show sometimes too the shifts in generations. And just whereas I tell my little brother all the time, like, y'all the social media generation. Like at first I thought it was us, but I more so would say like my generation, we're just tech savvy. We know how to work it. We know how to get into it. But at the same time, we still know how to go out, have a good time, whatever. But I would say that my little brother, the pandemic didn't help y'all one bit, but y'all are definitely like the social media guy. Like y'all will not talk to each other in person, but just do this all day. And like, my grandparents used to say that, and my parents used to say the same thing about us though. Like, so I think it's something that honestly too, it gets passed down. But what I will say is that me being a business owner, me being somebody having to, one man band it and run things myself, I swear it opened my eyes to social media. Because I tell people all the time, like, yes, I post and get the content and I am a brand ambassador for a brand and different things like that. But I would say, like, if I didn't have to do this, I wouldn't do it. Like, if I could just talk to people, if I could just, word of mouth, reach out to everybody, travel, fly to the location, it's cool. But no, I got to, get in the DMs. I got to be shooting shots and trying to get people to come on the podcast via email or Twitter or Facebook or different things like that. You just have to be strong with that. But then on top of that, I got to promote the content. I got to diversify the content. I got to keep it interesting. I got to keep people coming back. It's a lot when you just think about. I run my page, my personal page. I think that's cool, but the fact that I got to now switch over, be a brand, and approach that with a totally different, mantra. I can't be posting on my brand page on a personal page and different thing, and vice versa. So that's an interesting perspective. So I'm definitely excited to see, moving forward. Like you even kind of answered a question I had. Well, what are you going to do kind of moving forward? And you said, well, you've already started to do the research and just figure out that what can you put on place on your end on the business side of things, but two, if there's anything even you could do, you can improve on. So for 2022, I'm definitely excited to see what y'all got going on and what NR2R is about to bring to the table. So, for the people out there, for people who may really not know about the products, I know you kind of talked a little earlier about just what y'all have and what y'all have already been able to put out, and even some products that y'all want to tease. Is there anything that fans, is there anything that newcomers and new shoppers and just a new audience can expect when following the page, as we look into, this new year and just new things? Is there anything kind of on the horizon, any goals that you have, without spoiling anything that you just want to share with us?
Yeah, so I will say this: we just dropped the new colors in the sweatsuits, but that's not it. We got one that we kind of holding off that we gonna drop the beginning of 2022. Probably be like the second week January. We got something fresh coming. But I will say this, man. In 2022, we sticking to the guns, man. We going back. We're going back to the hoodie and shorts. Y'all can expect new colorways in the hoodie and shorts. You can expect more track suits, man. We going back to the bread and butter. We sticking with what worked and what really did good for us. We had a lot of traction there, man. A lot of people. We started a lot of new followers that we have and newcomers are supporting the brand. Like they're going to the page. They're like, yo, y'all gonna drop this again? That joint is hard. It's fire. You know what I mean? We're not restocking on nothing. We trying to keep that exclusive, man. So when you grab it, for the next years. And there's one thing about the brand too. You can wash this, wear it, and for a year later you put it back on, it's still gonna be fresh. So when you buy something and you grab it, then you don't have to worry. Nobody's gonna be able to get it for at least the next 1 or 2 years. Some stuff we may recycle and drop again, but it's just gonna be like the J's, the retros, like. When you don't know when we're gonna do it again, but when we do it again, jump on it, So we try to keep that exclusive to the brand, man, and I think that's something that we really we gonna try to be known for, like once they drop something, man, they don't drop it again. Like you got to jump on it. So that's something you can look forward to in 2022. We going back to the bread and butter, the hoodie and shorts. We got new colorways coming in that. We gonna stay on the track suits and we gonna stay on the sweatsuits. We sticking to what we know.
More now, stick with it, man. Brand quality, the products speak for themselves, man. I gotta get right now. I'm glad I waited on the sweatsuit because I just seen Q Cherry post the orange. I said, I want the orange so bad. I hate I put some money, but I said I know bruhs, man. Bruhs get on it. We going all had the same. I said I can't have it. I waited now. I did the interview, so I got the exclusive. I might wait on this interview, so I can even go drop it. So after y'all drop the product, now that I know it's another color, come on, wait. Go get it wait. So I'm glad I'm glad I did it, dog. Sure. But that's what's up. But for me to you, bro, I definitely just appreciate everything, bro. Appreciate everything. Just like I even spoke about from the beginning, from how we became acquainted with one another to even just the genuine and the vibe and the love over the years shown through social media from near and far, just from seeing each other here and there. But bro, I'm proud of everything that y'all got going on. I love to see it, man. Always want to support the Qs first and foremost, but even just as a black man, bro, I appreciate it. And when it's fire, when I know that everybody around me rocking with it, I know that it's only going to go up, bro. So like you said, that early success is definitely not going to be indicative of what's to come. So wishing y'all nothing but the best, man. Hoping that everybody, who taps into this interview really, tap in with the brand, see what they can offer. And even, if you have anything that you feel like you could bring, or even I follow a lot of people in Atlanta and North Carolina. So don't play with me. Don't play with the brand, man. Let's make it happen. So before we officially close out, bro, I know you gave it in the beginning, but I just kind of want to give it again for the people. Can you just give us social media where we can find you, the website and everything for people wanting to tap in and wanting to shop with y'all?
So you can find us on Instagram. We only have we got 2 social media platforms. We got Facebook and Instagram. We're more active and engaged with the Instagram, which is NR2R Clothing, same as the Facebook. And my personal one is NR2R_LO ELLO. And we also have our website in our bio, man. So you definitely can tap in. And we do accept DMs, so you can DM us as well. We small-based business, small business. So we're very interactive with our customers. You DM us, we right on it. We're going to respond to you, conversate with you. Same thing with our emails, fast response on the emails too. So however you want to reach out and engage and support the brand, man, you can Facebook or Instagram. You know, we here. We ain't going nowhere.
Right now, and I know I got the aunties, the uncles on Facebook, so let's get it popping, man. Let's get it right. So yeah, man. Like I said, from me to you, bro, much love. I appreciate it. To all the followers and supporters, everybody tapping in, all love. I appreciate y'all. We move and we get prepared for the new year and really making this happen. So this has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.